Okay, speaking yesterday at a joint press conference with the British Prime Minister, President Biden said that, catch this, he said that laws to protect children from sterilization and mutilation are cruel and hateful. Can you believe that? He also mentioned that, in his opinion, efforts to remove sexually explicit materials from schools were enacted by prejudiced people. Look at this clip.
Our fight is far, far from over because we have some hysterical and, I would argue, prejudiced people who are engaged in all what you see going on around the country. It's an appeal to fear, and it's an appeal that is totally, thoroughly unjustified and ugly.
It's difficult even to respond. Those remarks came as the president also went on to announce a multi-agency federal push now for the LGBTQ agenda. So while the White House wants all hands on deck, literally to mutilate kids and to promote sexually explicit filth in our schools, he is pushing to advance all of this. It's stunning. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Meg Kilgannon. She's a senior fellow for education studies here at the Family Research Council. Meg, welcome back to Washington Watch. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me, Jody.
All right, let's talk about this new interagency effort that the president is pushing. What do we know about it?
Well, it is an all-hands-on-deck effort to advance the LGBTQIA2S+ community in every aspect of government. When I was in the Trump administration, I went late in the administration, and one of the projects that we were working on to finish up was a government-wide religious freedom rule that was being enforced, and that each agency had written a piece of how they were going to protect religious freedom in America. So we see the difference an election makes now with the Biden administration celebrating Pride Month, announcing all kinds of efforts and initiatives to advance LGBTQ rights, which will come at the expense of other people's rights. They are going to help the Department of Homeland Security make threat assessments for people who are not affirming of LGBTQ people. They're going to have a pornography czar at the U.S. Department of Education who's going to ensure that there's a pornographic book in every backpack going home with the kids every day. It's just a ridiculous list of the mythical injustice that is the LGBT community is facing in America. The Biden administration is ready to fight.
It's stunning. And, you know, another part of the concerning part of all of this to me is the interagency. This is like an all of government approach to push the LGBTQ agenda. I know the Education Department is involved, the Justice Department is involved, Department of Housing and Urban Development. Are there others? I mean, just how big is this interagency coalition going to be? Do you know?
Sure. The Department of Homeland Security is involved, the Department of Justice, as you said, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I mean, essentially, they're going to prioritize people who identify as LGBT in government programs through those agencies. So if you need a bed in a homeless shelter, I suppose they would want for the one bed left for 5 people to go definitely to the LGBTQ person. Wow. That's the kind of thing that's going to practically be facing people on the ground when they start to deal with the ramifications of these kinds of rules and rulemaking efforts. Now, we've covered this week about the SPLC putting out their hate list. And so when you think about the government cooperating with a group like the Southern Poverty Law Center and this witch hunt for any patriotic American in the country to be put under some sort of threat assessment by the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice. Now, if you are not affirming your children, the government is going to help you do that. And I have a feeling that if you still don't affirm your child in their LGBTQ identity, they will have a threat assessment placed with you. They're going to have a toolkit from the Department of Education to help parents affirm their LGBTQIA+ children.
A great point with SPLC, Meg, and all how you're connecting these dots. Listen, we've only got a little over a minute left, but the laws that the president attacked, he's a master at misrepresenting everything. But the laws that he targeted are not targeting anyone. They're designed to protect children from mutilating surgeries, and these are not just book bans. They're trying to protect children from sexually explicit material. In 30 seconds, how do parents need to respond to all of this?
Well, you need to be very careful about who you let be in charge of your children, because the idea that parents know best is not the de facto starting point for this administration and for many on the Democratic side of the aisle, unfortunately. And so if you are not going, if you do not agree with this agenda, then you need to be very careful with whom you entrust your children.
And all of this is coming out. I wish we had more time to go to it on the 1-year anniversary of the firebombed pregnancy care center in Buffalo, New York last year. And now Biden is coming after everyone else. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Meg Kilgannon.